Steve.
Hey.
I was just noticing, in my life, the longing for more mentorship and elders. And so I've been asking some people in my life, like, who are more experienced and farther along the journey, like, if you could give yourself some advice when you were 20 years old, if you could give some advice to your 20-year-old self, what would it be? So Steve, if you could give yourself advice when you were 20, what would it be?
Wow, I like the question. Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is the concept of feelings and needs that NVC offers, nonviolent communication offers us. It's the amazing realization that everything that I do is an attempt to meet a need. And all of my feelings are this amazing, elegant feedback system that my body, mind has to guide me, so that I would encourage my 20-year-old self to really get more in touch with my feelings and learn what the basic needs are, and that I think that would have been incredibly powerful. I think maybe the other thing would be that when painful things happen, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's something wrong, or that I've done anything wrong, or anyone else has done anything wrong. That, when you look out at nature, you see, death and destruction all the time that leads to life. And so I would tell my 20-year-old self that, yes, feel the uncomfortable, painful feelings, and don't deny those and don't repress that. But also don't jump to conclusions that just because this thing is painful, that it's necessarily bad for me. Because I had a lot, in my own life, I had a lot of stories about that made everything much more difficult. That pain is a way to life, for us to get information about life. And then third one's kind of similar. It is around the concept of failure. I had a dear friend who years ago told me this thing that there's no such thing as failure, there's only feedback and learning. And if I could have had that wisdom when I was 20, I used to beat myself up so much about having failed at this and failed at that and then when, having eventually adopted a more evolutionary and nature perspective of reality, I'm like, quote, failure things happen all the time, but they're just part of living systems educating themselves. And so that would have, given me a lot of relief, and I'd had much more energy in my life if I had less of that failure thought and more of just realizing that, this is just a living system. I'm a living system learning. And let's see, the fourth one I think would be around the concept of the sacred. That, what does it mean for things to be sacred, and what things are sacred, and what things have lost their sacredness in our culture that would be really helpful if I could reclaim. And the three that come to my mind is something that I think I heard from Starhawk, or I'm not sure exactly where I heard it, but saying that the three aspects of life that got most damaged in patriarchy has been our relationship to the earth, our relationship to the feminine, and our relationship to our bodies. And I would really encourage my 20-year-old self to reflect on and pray and read and so forth, whatever would help to reclaim the sense of the sacredness of earth and feminine and my body.
Wow, thanks so much, Steve.